When a recruiter views your resume, you have 6 to 7 seconds to make a great first impression. If you can't capture their attention in that time, it doesn't matter how good the rest of your resume is. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. So today I'm going to be looking at a handful of resumes that either make that killer first impression or absolutely fail the test. Welcome to another episode of Career Help on the Metaintro channel. My name is Nelly and I'm on the careers team where my goal is to help you land a job, like now. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. So before we dive in and take a look at some resumes, let's take a quick look at the facts. 75% of resumes or CVs are rejected by the ATS before they reach the hiring manager due to format, content, and lack of keywords. This means that only 25% of resumes make it in front of human eyes. According to Glassdoor, a single corporate job opening gets an average of 250 applications. And the amount of time that an employer spends looking at a resume varies from company to company, but generally it's only 6 to 7 seconds. So imagine finally getting to the recruiter's pile of applicants amongst all of the odds and your resume doesn't pass the scan. The worst. So for today's video, Luis at Metaintro prepared a handful of resumes for me to take a look at and rate based on formatting, relevant work history, and educational background. So let's dive in. Okay, so the first resume I have is Jerry Wilson, Digital Marketing Specialist. The first thing that sticks out to me is in the summary, I don't see any concrete numbers. I just see successfully increased organic traffic and conversion rates. So, what is the percentage of increase? What were the past conversion rates? What did you increase them by? If you have these numbers, why not, flex them? Hey, I 10x'd our, organic traffic, or I doubled our conversion rates. That really pops out to potential recruiters. So he does sort of fix this in the next part, talking about the $50,000 monthly spend. This just shows recruiters that he's capable of dealing with big budgets. He talks about, increasing the conversion percentages. So those are all positive things. I also see typos, personal projects. The word personal is misspelled. At the bottom, certification, the word certified is misspelled. Please try to double check, triple check, quadruple check your resumes. Make sure there are no typos. The formatting could definitely use some work. For one part, we have the dates on the right-hand side, and then for the personal projects, which again is misspelled, we have the dates on the left side. Just keep your resume consistent. Make sure everything is in one format. Make it nice. Make it very organized and simple to navigate. At the bottom, I don't really see much education besides certificates. If you do have educational backgrounds that are relevant to the positions you're applying for, definitely include those. I think most companies are going to look for someone with a bachelor's degree. Obviously, there will be exceptions, but if you do have those things, definitely put that right up front. Okay, let's move on to the next one, Josh H. Henderson. The first sentence is just a little bit too generic. Web developer with experience in web design and development. Doesn't really tell me much. There's no quantifiable metrics there. You can definitely spark that up because that's the first thing a recruiter is going to read. And if it's a very boring headline, it's going to probably put them off to reading the rest of your resume. He could say things like, I worked for this massive agency, or I helped build this massive website, or something that's a little bit more eye-popping. Going back to the formatting, under experience, we have web developer written 3 times. I mean, this is someone that's clearly a web developer. They don't need to be, saying that in every job. We're assuming that every job is a web development job unless stated otherwise. So I would say that's a bit wasteful in a resume where you have pretty limited space. And these descriptions are just a little bit too nothing. They lack a lot of detail. So design websites for clients' needs. What kind of websites? What were the clients' needs? What were the returns? Stuff like that. More information. Just make it a little bit more personal, so it doesn't look like it's just like a copy and pasted experience section of your resume. Another example of this could be improved website performance by 50%. Okay, how did you do that? What were the problems with the website? What tools did you use? Just a little more detail, maybe talk about the traffic flow. You can put all kinds of stuff, and don't be afraid to put a little bit more information, especially information that's very flashy and going to catch the attention of a recruiter. Now, the left side of the page also needs quite a bit of work. Interests, just being technology, is very generic. Don't be afraid to put a little bit of your personality, your interests, because recruiters are looking to also start a conversation with you to ask you about non-work related things just to see how you are as a person. So don't be afraid to show a little bit of your own personality in there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're talking about Luke Ramirez. Right off the bat, I love the photo. I don't know why, it always makes it feel more personalized. It feels like I'm looking at a human, with the background, as opposed to just like a generic resume with almost no information. I love to see the person that I'm going to be probably interviewing in the future. I think the profile, the opening statement, is also pretty solid. If you want, you can maybe improve it a bit more with adding some more metrics, but in terms of explaining what he is and what he's done, I think he did a pretty solid job. Looking at the education section, I also see high school diploma. I'd probably leave that off of a resume. I don't think you really need that. I don't think recruiters are gonna care if you have a high school diploma. I think that's implied if you have a bachelor's degree in something. So you could probably leave that off and find other ways to use up that space. I think overall this is the best formatted one. The tasks that they've done and the projects they've worked on are pretty well explained. You can add a bit more metrics, I guess, to make it really pop, but overall this is probably the best resume. It's easy to read, it's nicely organized. Maybe they can add a little bit of a section about their interest or something that gives it a little bit more of a personal touch, but overall I would say this is a very solid resume. But that brings us to the end of this video. Let me know what you think about some of these resumes. What are your first impressions? What do you think could be improved? Maybe, leave questions you have about your resumes down below, and maybe we can take a look and help you out a little bit. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And as always, don't just watch, join the meta revolution with Metaintro. I'll see you next time. Peace.